On this episode, AEW right now is getting closer and closer to their flag pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. But also, I'm going to throw in some news updates regarding AEW, David Finlay, and of course, coming from WWE's NXT. All of that will be reviewed, discussed, and talked about on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up. 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 Get up, get up.
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So let's begin with getting to the second week before we get to the pay-per-view Double or Nothing by AEW in Dynamite. So the first match opened up with Christian Cage versus Matt Sydal. Now keep in mind, this match was set because both competitors are involved in the Casino Battle Royale. As you know, whoever wins this Casino Battle Royale will get a future title shot for the AEW World title. Now, this match was so great. Taz was in commentary the entire time. He acts like he thinks that he's a victim of bad circumstances the entire time. He says that, oh, Cage didn't take his side because, he never did like him. But the problem is, Taz, he's too. He plays this character like saying he's the victim, he's the good guy, show some respect. But however, the match did pretty well, I have to say, Matt. They allowed Matt Sydal to, in fact, uh, do what he was known, throw in more of the high spots. But however, with Christian Cage, it did allow him to win the match. However, because of Team Taz's involvement, as always, Taz provided the distraction by Ricky Starks, and then they sent Hook, Hobbs, and Cage to deal with it. And here comes Hangman Page, who has unfinished business with Brian Cage, who is going to face him this coming Double or Nothing pay-per-view to prove exactly that he doesn't need Team Taz, because is he satisfied with the win? Well, we don't know. Now, the main event was none other than the Young Bucks versus the Varsity Blondes. As you know, there's things that we've been seeing. As you know, Dark Side of the Ring introduced Brian Pillman, who is part of their show, their documentary, and of course, they're giving this one the time to shine to Brian Pillman Jr., his son. And I like how he put out this video package where he's saying that the darker side of wrestling is what kept them away from wrestling because of what happened. But he said that it was the Young Bucks, the reason that they made him realize that's had nothing to do with it. I mean, I do remember Pillman Jr. talked about how he felt ashamed of his mom going to WWE right after his father died. And he talked about it before in a documentary. And I don't blame him for what he's feeling. I mean, we all know certain things don't go right with WWE, especially with wrestlers that died for certain when things happen like this. And Pillman and Owen Hart is one of the latest examples. Now, this next match has tag team implications into it. We have Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston taking on the Acclaim. The Acclaim thinks that they are true badasses. But, however, Max Caster should have kept his mouth shut. He insulted Jon Moxley about his wife. And then when Anthony Bowen is about he got knocked out. But I knew right from the get-go that this match was going to go in favor of Moxley and Kingston. Reason is, now they're gunning for the tag team gold, and that means, what's that mean for the Acclaim, oh, maybe they be knocked out of whatever position that they're in. Who knows? But they should have known better. The next match we had, well, the next one we had an interview with Jericho. Now, last week we did see the Inner Circle interrupted the coronation of the Pinnacle. We're still waiting the anticipation answer from Jericho. As you know, the stipulation that MJF put out, if the Inner Circle lose the Stadium Stampede to the Pinnacle, then the Inner Circle must break up forever. So we still wait the anticipation results, but that was like pretty interesting how it goes. Now the next interview comes in by Tony Schiavone, where he talks to Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Sky believes the Sting is not the same kind of guy, like he wasn't the same person. And of course, they praise MERO being the new TNT champion and all of that because they claim that they are the true heroes of AEW. But however, the little promo was interrupted by Sting and Darby Allin. And of course, out of nowhere, when they were able to escape, they were cut off by the Dark Order. That was kind of strange. But what does this mean? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Sting and Darby align themselves with Dark Order. Now, I'm not saying they should be members of the Dark Order, but what if they become associates like Hangman Page? Which I don't mind. Now, the Pinnacle we didn't hear them what they had to say regarding of their match at Double or Nothing for the Stadium Stampede. Each member had a valid point, but I think the best one I like coming from Dax Harwood saying that they shouldn't be focused on the Inner Circle because they beat them. They should be focusing on obtaining championship gold. That, I have to say, is a good point, a valid point. Pinnacle should have been focused on, but however, Jericho felt that they didn't get rid of them. But they also anticipate their answer. Would they accept the stipulation? That's a little later, but we'll get to that soon enough. Next match, we have Rebel along with Britt Baker taking on Hikaru Shida. As you know, Britt Baker is the number one contender to face Shida, who is confident enough to believe that she will dethrone Hikaru Shida and finally gain what she's been desiring, which is the AEW the Women's World Title. Now, however, there was a moment where Shida got in her head by using that glove that she was about to put her finisher on, and then of course Rebel used the clutch to try to slow her down, but it's not. But of course, it's Britt Baker that had the last laugh when she slammed her head after she won her after Shida won her match, proving a point that she is the role model. As you know, what happened last week, Kenny did not want to face either man. Now, there's a state of injury that Orange Cassidy has obtained of that power bomb against Pac. Now, Don Callis and Kenny do not want no part of Orange Cassidy. They've been trying to persuade him, believing that because of what happened, of his injury, he needs to stand down and he should not be involved. This is their way of trying to ensure that Kenny will not lose, because you got to remember what happened last with this whole thing with the Steiner math. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the Steiner math is normally when you are in a one-on-one match, you get a 50-50 chance of winning. And of course, you got 25% at best for Kenny, so believing that he could win or not. But that's the thing. They presented him with a contract saying that he will step away from the match at Double or Nothing for the AEW World Title. He ripped it, and they gave him a second one. And they believe, even on Twitter, they posted out, Orange Cassidy will do the right thing. To be honest with you, what makes you guys think that Orange is going to just back away from one of the biggest challenges and biggest things that is going to happen in his career? Don't forget, he beat Jericho like twice. But that's going to be interesting too, this watch. So we'll see what happens. Cassidy will have an answer next week. Now, the inner circle comes out, giving their peace of mind individually, minus Santana. But of course, Jericho said they accept the challenge, and that's what's going to happen. So the stipulation is set. If they lose, they have to break up. And this is going to be a very interesting storyline to play out. Now, another interview comes from Shivani where he talks to Jade. As you know, many managers are trying to sign her, even though Mark Sterling Esquire, who's worked as MJF's attorney, he tries to find a way to get on her good side, saying, look, I work for you. You don't work for me. You decide how you want to take Team Jade. Now, Jade doesn't like being appreciated, people getting interrupting her, but she looks like she is like giving some thought because she doesn't want to present lose a percentage of whatever she earns. So that's pretty much what's been happening the entire time. So we'll see more to that. Next match is a championship match. This one is for the NWA Women's World Title, where we had Red Velvet finally facing off against the returning Serena Deeb. She injured herself in the hands of Rio during the AEW World Championship Eliminator. Took her 3 months off, but now she's back. I have to say, Serena Deeb seems more determined to continue the tradition of being the NWA Women's Champion. We do know the number one contendership for that title is coming up soon. We have Thunder Rosa versus Camille. But this match with Red Velvet and Serena Deeb was the best one I've seen. Despite the fact that the title is not an AEW title. But I like the match. I have to say Red Velvet had a lot of fire in this one. Basically, I did like this one a lot. But however, Serena Deeb remained as champion, as the NWA Women's Champion, and we'll see what happens. Who will be the one from the NWA to face her? Now, Pac, well, let's just say he did not appreciate being attacked from behind by Kenny, and he wanted to give a peace of mind. But he did not get the necessary time, but you can tell he's pissed. Next up we have is Austin Gunn along with Arn Anderson Cody taking on Anthony Ogogo. The match was okay, but the moment was best where Anthony Ogogo punched Austin Gunn right in the gut. He tried to get up, but apparently the referee made the constant decision to stop the match, and that's what happened. The next thing we have is an interview with Kaz and Daniels. As you know, this is the end of an era between SCU, but it appears that Kazarian still has unfinished business with the Bucks, the rest of the Elite. I don't know. If I was Frankie Kazarian, I would align myself with the two people that hate the Elite more than him, and that is Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. I would say I would like to see that. Now, MERO, as we now know, last week we just had a new TNT champion, and that person is MERO. He is out proving his point that he said that he did what he was going to do. But however, he was interrupted by Lance Archer, who gave him a peace of mind, even made reference of the Rusev Day, and all this and that. But however, was revealed that MERO will put the TNT title on the line at Double or Nothing against Lance Archer. This is going to be huge. Now let's get to the main event, which is the AEW World Tag Team titles between the Varsity Blondes and Young Bucks. You can tell right away that the Varsity Blondes are good. They are a good, solid tag team, but however, you know for a fact there's going to be cheating and tricks up their sleeves to ensure they remain as the AEW. Even they cross the line when they use the spray on Julia Hart. But however, because of they won the match, all thanks to the interference, they were attacked and chokehold by Moxley and Kingston. But Kingston had an idea to take away their shoes, and that was pretty hilarious. I don't know what was that all about, but it was really, really fun. Now, before I go and move forward, I must remind all of you that AEW Dynamite will have a special timing next week on a Friday, probably the same time, but don't take my word for it. You can look it up online to find out for sure. So, I think that's pretty much it. So, let's move forward and end it with the news updates. Okay, welcome to the news updates right now. So let's do this. As you know, I mentioned AEW. Right now, it's been announced earlier today where it's been revealed that AEW, by starting of January of 2022, they will be moving from TNT to TBS, which is the other um, television network that Warner Media owns, which is a good thing. Now, however, Tony Khan did specify that this is not a goodbye. They still got some force specials they want to do in TNT prior before we go to TBS. But however, they did announce for another hour-long show called AEW Rampage. Now, however, Dark and Evolution will remain on YouTube, but there's speculation about Rampage could be pre-taped. Now, I don't know for sure if that's 100% true, but this is going to be a good thing for AEW. Now, however, there's been talk saying that this move could be related to TNT obtaining a contract to have, of course, NFL, the NHL hockey games being broadcast to the network. Uh, no confirmation just yet, but I will find out. But however, there's talk that the Rampage could be broadcast on a Friday, which is going to be a very interesting because they could be competing against SmackDown. But however, they did state it. Rampage is going to be 1 hour long. Well, we'll see where they're going to go with that. Now, as you know, recently Dave Finlay has been on a roll in the last couple years. His involvement with New Japan and now Impact. Apparently, there's reports coming in that he is considering making the jump to WWE. Now, you probably ask, why would he want that? It was revealed later by Fit Finlay, his father, who we know him too well. He actually was tested positive for the coronavirus, but keep in mind, last year hasn't been the same for anybody from the hasn't been good for none of the foreign wrestlers that come to New Japan. That includes David Finlay. But he's been giving consideration about what to do next. Even Finlay, who still has a connections with WWE or is still involved with them, is thinking when he returns back to the States, he would like to talk to him. Maybe convince him to go to WWE. Now, I know some of you may have some hard feelings over this, but we'll see how this is going to play out. Now, as you know, not too long ago, WWE released 10 wrestlers as part of their cleansing after WrestleMania, which is nothing compared from last year. But however, there's been a lot of talk about the wrestlers that they released. But here's some that released, but this time it's coming from NXT, which is the one thing we did not expect. But however, there has been talk that this was going to happen. Now, here are the wrestlers they released. 6 of them. Kavita Devi, Jasmine Duke, Ursula Judge, Skylar Story, Vanessa Bourne, Alexander Wolf, and here are the 2 referees, Drake Roots and Jay Clementons. Now, as you know, recently Wolf has, last time we saw him was this past Tuesday where he was kicked out of Imperium. Now, this could have been speculation that he wanted out. It's still no word. Probably some of you say, oh, they're going to go to AEW. Like I said, only those who have something value. I don't think none of them are value, but we could see them in other promotions sooner or later. But however, the 2 referees, the one that I mentioned, Drake Roods, the reason he was released was because There was a nuclear backstage sheet coming from him. Apparently, he's been criticizing wrestlers who have been taking the vaccine. Now, as you know, I don't want to bring negativity on this channel. I know if I have viewers out there who's against vaccination, understand this. I don't want to hear this crap. Okay? I've already been vaccinated. I chose it. I'm not telling you guys what to do. But if you tell me, oh, they're going to kill you, I don't want to hear that crap either. Understand me? It's my choice. Like you, those who chose not to be vaccinated, that's your choice too. But I don't want to hear that crap. You understand that? This is nothing political, but this is serious. Understand? So don't piss me off. Trust me. Now, anyway, Drake Roots has been with the company since 2015. However, he's been going out ranting about wrestlers taking the vaccination. This was becoming a problem. But there's also reports coming in that this guy is a racist guy. Who knows? But WWE made the right choice in releasing him because they don't want none of that here. That is something that many companies need to start doing. But you can say, good riddance. We don't need that negativity around. So, I think that's pretty much it for the news updates. Got nothing right now. So, nothing. So, let's see. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. This is going to be an interesting week to follow. Just a friendly reminders to everyone, if you guys know this or not, this coming Saturday on Fight TV, this is the Hana Kimura Memorial Show that has been put out. If you guys don't know who's Hana Kimura, she was a Japanese female wrestler who took her own life due to cyberbullying, and it's been almost a year since she took her own life. And her mother, who's also a famous wrestler, set up and organized this event. If you guys are interested in checking it out, go to Fight TV. Set up your account. It's only $14.99 to watch it. I'm gonna watch it, but however, I might watch it a little later. I probably won't be able to review it until possibly the following day on a Sunday. Also, I will throw in, for those who don't know this, I have a podcast called DWZ Podcast with J-Rod. Here are the platforms you can find me if you're interested. Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, PocketCast, and RadioPublic. Now, I'll try to put those on the description down below if I have a chance, so you guys get to hear my voice. If you guys who wondering what do I do in this podcast, I talk about certain topics in wrestling, like wrestlers like Sting, or things that took place, like Amanda Hubbard, the widow of John Hubbard, talking about how his death took place and all this other. So it's pretty good stuff. So you guys will find, if you guys want to check it out, go ahead. If you have any of the platforms I mentioned, that's fine too. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang!